Pierce entries are fast.
Yes.
Just a little bit more tweaking to do on the 126.
Throw the torque wrench to her and be ready to go. So second group of cars are going to make its way out to the racing surface right quick. Let's go down and check in with Drake.
Well, some more check-ins going on the 126. Brian, you hit the nail on the head about the right front tire coming off hub, and everything's still there as Aaron Pierce takes a look at it. The only other damage that I can see just by standing back here, haven't had a chance to talk to the crew yet, is on the bodywork on the very bottom of the right front. There's a little bit of damage there, but I don't think that'll affect him too bad as Colton still remains buckled into the 126. And the laps he did lay down was pretty quick, as you mentioned, third fastest so far here in dirt track practice and Honest Abe Roofing qualifying.
Indeed, thank you very much. Of course, we're at Gateway. That arrow, that's important.
Yeah, you're going to want that there. But, of course, you know, with the amount of time that we have and the other issues that they're trying to get arranged right now, that's probably the least of their concerns.
So the next group of drivers out to the Speedway again, 5 to 6 is what you're going to see on track at any given time here in these groups. Each one of these groups will have a chance to go again. And, again, the drivers do not have to go out in the group they started in. They can swap things around. As we get a look at your defending USAC National Champion on the back straightway to Kingsburg, California, the Mission Foods, Wilkie Orthodontics, Glen Farms, Doran Binks Racing, Lancey Ford, Beast number 77. That is Cody Swanson. Cody Swanson in the number 77. 11 Toledo starts in his career. He's won 8 of them, 6 of them in a row so far. His worst finish here was 4th in 2012.
And so, as we mentioned, Cody Swanson, very, very successful here at the Toledo Speedway. And the dirt half mile has kind of been his kryptonite in the last couple of years as he chases another championship, and again with 2 separate teams across the dirt and the pavement.
We saw that last week up at Terre Haute where he got the car and the bike, and he admitted on Facebook, I was just trying to push a little bit too hard, but looking forward to getting back on the pavement here tonight. Speaking of winners here at Toledo, Bobby Santos III out of Franklin, Massachusetts, the Brown & Miller Racing Solutions, Simpson Racing Products, Speedway Chevrolet, Beast DJ Racing number 98, making his way down the back straightway. Young lady from right up the road in Shelby Township, Michigan, the Able Construction Company, Stanton Mopar, Beast, Bradford Allen, Shift Up Now, Motorsports Safety Group, Mobile One, the Safety Bank, number 55, that is Taylor Ferns. Taylor Ferns in the 55. Tyler Rohrig at Plymouth, Indiana, making his way through turns 3 and 4 in the First Line Systems Incorporated, Newman Racing, Drywall Distributor, Jackson Chevrolet Beast, Michael Newman owned in number 41. 2 times a Toledo starter here, 13th in 2021 and 3rd last year. 11 career starts, 5 top 5s, and 5 top 10s for the Indiana racer in USAC National competition. Driver we normally see behind the wheel of a pavement midget. He's out of Medway, Massachusetts. The Clyde Enterprises, Willwood, Brown & Miller Racing Solutions, Klotz Hoosier Tire, Ford Beast number 6. That is Jake Trainer. Jake Trainer in the number 6 machine. First start here at Toledo in USAC Silver Crown competition. Made his Silver Crown debut last October at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. So we'll see the 2023 Little 500 champion can do here on the half mile. Looks like one more driver to tell you about. Rolling over to turns 3 and 4. The Legacy Chassis, Stanton Chevrolet Power, Middleweight 1 Performance Products, Acro Seal, ShopAngryDuck.com, Acro Lube, Performance Powder Coating, Heitmeyer Construction number 54 in Pleasant Hill, Ohio. That is Matt Westfall. Matt Westfall in the number 54. One previous start here at Toledo in Silver Crown competition back in 2023. He ran 15th. 56 career starts, 11 top 5s, and 29 top 10 finishes for Matt Westfall. So heat under the hoods, scuffs on the tires, and we will set them loose here. The wave of the green flag. Again, 6 laps as we roll into Honest Abe Roofing Hot Laps and Honest Abe Roofing qualifying as well as our Dirt Draft Hot Laps. An all-in-one package here today if you're just joining us on the broadcast. A little bit of a truncated program due to Mother Nature intervening most of the morning, so having to kind of speed things up here. Normally they would have about 30 minutes of practice. Then come out for single car qualifying, going out of the inverse of their practice times. Right now, Cody Swanson quickly up the charts. He's already up to second quick, 15 at 5:96, 1/10 off of the pace of Kaylee Bryson right now. And with that, he will overtake 15:285. New quick qualifier, Cody Swanson in the Mission Foods. Wilkie Orthodontics, number 77. Bryson is second quick right now with a 15:496. Bobby Santos, third quick, 15:532. C.J. Leary fourth, and Colton Bettis right now back to fifth. Again, all these drivers will have another shot to come out and mix things up. Jake Traynor, his first trip to Toledo here in Silver Crown competition. He currently sits sixth on the boards at a 15.778. Rorig, Westfall, Ferns, and O'Gara currently making up the top 10. Down to pit lane goes the 77. Swanson going to call it good in this one.
Yeah, and I imagine Cody Swanson just most likely happy with the time that he laid down. Of course, they have spotters, radios, communications in these cars, so he knows what lap he's got, and he's most likely happy with that time.
Yeah, if you're new to Silver Crown Racing, this is the only form of what we would call sprint racing. Look out. A little close quarters there off the exit turn number 4 as they were slowing to try to make their way in. You had cars kind of streaking out of the outside. But as I was saying, of course, these are not sprint cars. You can't call them elongated sprint cars. You can't call them, these are champ cars. But in this form of racing, this is the only time you will actually have two-way communication between the driver and a spotter. Normally, you only have the one-way communication from the officials on the receiver.
Yeah, indeed. So that is what makes this form of racing unique. That and among other things as well. So interesting to see as the cars are coming off of turn number 4 from our perspective at least. You can tell that the racetrack doesn't have a ton of heat in it right now as they're kind of kicking out the rear ends as they come out of turn number 4, which means they're searching for some grip still.
It was interesting. Last year, the quickest way around was actually to almost dip the left front down off of the track and hit the dirt. It was really interesting to watch as the track, of course, last year very sunny, very warm, and the track heating up and changing throughout the course of the day. Today, not going to be the case, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out. The modified ace onto the back straightaway as we go into group number 3 out of St. Charles, Missouri. The Performance Plus Global Logistics, Spartan Transportation, Trainer Chevrolet Beast. Number 8, that is Kyle Steffens. Kyle Steffens in the number 8. 12th here 1 year ago as 33 career starts in Silver Crown competition. Driver going to victory lane Thursday up at Anderson with the 500 Sprint Tour at Newcastle, Indiana. The Marisim Crop Performance, Stanton Beast, Armstrong Farm, CNA Motorsports number 5. That is Dakota Armstrong. Dakota Armstrong in the number 5. 2 times a Toledo starter, a 10th and a 17th place finish in his last 2 attempts. Driver rolling onto the back straightaway right now out of Ione, California. Driver of the Super Fitness, NOS Energy Drink, Speedway, Ford, Beast, Hemmelgarn Enterprises, Nick Bohannon, Versalift Reynolds, number 91. That is Justin Grant. Justin Grant, the number 91. 7 times a Toledo starter. His best finish, a 3rd in 2022. Ran 4th the last 2 years. And add one more to that in 2019. And when he takes the green in today's 100-lap feature event, it'll be career start number 100 for Justin Grant in Silver Crown competition. Jackson Masenko out of Cincinnati, Ohio, making his way through turns 1 and 2 right now, driving the BHR Performance Toyota-powered Beast at JTM Food Group. Brad Hayes Racing, Nick Bohannon Racing number 124. 1 start last year, finished 14th in this event, has 3 career starts and 2 top 10 finishes behind the wheel of the number 124 machine. Mario Klauser going to make his way onto the back straightaway. In the Cita.com, CGCPA's Indy Custom Cell, Forecheck Marketing. Indy Power Sports, AJ Foker Racing Engine, Beast Chassis number 22. Again, CV normally behind the wheel. Oh, the Rice Motorsports Abacus Racing number 22. Klauser jumping behind the wheel here today. 3 times a Toledo starter. His best finish last year. Ran 6th. And he's gotten better every time he has made his way back to Toledo. He was 9th in 2022. He finished 7th in 2023. It's like one more driver to tell you about here on the racing surface. Rolls on the back straightaway to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. The Rich Wine Garage, Seth Performance Chevrolet-powered Beast. Shadow Motorsports, Berkheimer Racing number 31. That is Dave Berkheimer. Dave Berkheimer, the number 31. 4 times a Toledo starter. His best finish last year. Ran 18th. 22nd his 3 starts before that in 2021, 22, and 23. This will be career start number 54 for the driver, the number 31 here today. So a couple of spots where the track has been weeping. We see starting to dry up. The problem child continues to be there at the exit at turn number 2. Everywhere else so far looking pretty good so far as they'll start to get up to speed. The wave of the green flag, and our 3rd group in set number 1 comes to life. Again, Cody Swanson is your quick qualifier thus far, 15.273. Kaylee Bryson 2nd quick at a 15.496. Bobby Santos, Tyler Rorig, C.J. Leary right now making up the top 5 as we are under green flag conditions here in qualifying group number 3, set number 1. like problems. One driver slowing down into the infield. That will be the 31 of Dave Berkheimer. Things going awry on his machine. Drivers coming around, starting to pick up momentum here as Mario Klauser goes to fourth quick. In the Abacus Rice, number 22. Justin Grant, he's up to seventh quick right now. We go to Armstrong, cracking up into the top 10. His last time by. We'll see if he improves this time. He does. Fifth quick for the 5. Mario Klauser quicker still on lap number 4. Goes to second quick. Off of the quick time by 0.181 seconds. Driver the number 22 going to come around, wave of the white flag. He'll have one more shot to try to best Cody Swanson. That time by, it was a 15.488. Lap number 4, still his best attempt at a 15.454. Swanson still atop of the charts at a 15.273. Checker flag coming out here in group number 3, and the clock will stop with Swanson continuing to lead the way here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying.
So that wraps it up for the first session for everybody of this Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, dirt draft practice, that kind of thing. So we're going to do that all one more time. And again, fastest lap stands from either the first or second session that you participate in.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Remember, you don't have to go out in the same group. If you went out in group 3, you can go out in 2. You can roll right back around and go out in group 1. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers kind of play a little bit of chess here to try to better their chances at that lap time. So round 2, making his way out to the Speedway. Group number 1 returning. Santos in the 98, Leary in the 21, Corey in the 32, all making their way out. Looks like O'Gara's getting the push down on pit lane as well, the Beech Grove, Indiana racer. And not only that, you don't have to come back out. If you're,
That's true.
If you are
If you're
good
happy
with Group 1, you can stay with that.
I think that would be a really interesting and brave choice by many of these teams and competitors. And I think, you know, for most of them, they just don't have it in their nature to not try to get just a little bit better.
Oh, no. They're going to try to get everything they possibly can.
But it certainly is an option.
Of course, round 2 of the season for the Silver Crown Champ Car Division. Starting off on the dirt at the Sumar Classic last Sunday at Terre Haute. Logan Seavey with the win, has the points lead. Again, he is not in action here, so that opens the door for Justin Grant to potentially take over the top spot. Brady Bacon in third, not running full-time USAC competition in 2025. And Briggs Danner also not running full-time in Silver Crown. He is focusing on the dirt side of things, so the points are going to shake up a lot here. You've got Seavey, Grant, Bacon, Danner, then Leary, who is in action here today, Chase Dietz, who is not, Westfall, who is, Bryson, who is, Moles, who is not, and Rose, who is not. So the points are going to be a complete, call it cartwheel by the time we get done here.
Yes, Justin Grant probably licking his chops knowing that he's got a chance to get an early lead with the USAC Silver Crown points here at the Toledo Speedway. But that would just be for driver points, not for entrant points, because the 22 of Rice Motorsports and Abacus Racing is here today with Mario Klauser.
Yeah, that's one thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's not just driver standings on the national scene, and you see it whether it's with USAC, World of Outlaws, American Sprint Car Series. There is entrant points and there is driver points, and that is done to protect both sides. So in case you end up in a situation like this where you have multiple drivers, basically as a car owner, you're not just wasting your time showing up. Back on track is the 126 of Colton Bettis. Right front back on and rolling here. We'll see what the Lutz Florida racer can do. He got shuffled out of the top 10 after he came out and laid down the quickest lap. On his first time, immediately jumps it back into the top 5 at a 15.664. Behind the wheel, that Sam Pierce Chevrolet Beast AP Driver Development of 126. The 2024 Auburndale Pro Late Model Champion, as well as BG Southern Sprint Car Series Champion. Currently leads that BG Series at 15 years of age. Has 5 wins in 7 starts in asphalt sprint car competition so far this season. I asked him what he thought about being behind the wheel of a Silver Crown car. He said he described it as lazy. It's very slow. It's very smooth. He said in the sprint car, it's a lot twitchier. You have to hustle it a lot more. He goes, in this case, I have to slow myself down so I don't overdrive the car.
I've often used that word to describe Silver Crown racing, especially when we're at the 4 Crown Nationals and we're trying to make comparisons between the 3 or at times 4 series. And Silver Crown racing is just remarkably more lazy, you could call it, to watch it and to see it, that kind of thing. But we do have some moving and shaking up at the top of the qualifying boards right now.
So Cody Swanson continues to be quickest, but Tyler Rorig in the number 41, who's back on track, he has moved up into second quick. CJ Leary up to third quick. Bettis into fourth, and Klauser is back to fifth. Checker flag here on this group number 2, set number 1. So those drivers are done with their qualifying attempt. Group number 2 waiting down in the staging lanes. You've got Ferns waiting down there in the 55. She was in sprint car competition Thursday just down the road in Anderson and said the car just started overheating. They're trying to test and shake and get things ready to go for the Little 500. So at that point realized it's not worth burning up the engine. So unfortunately her race kind of coming to an early close.
So Cody Swanson sits to return to the Toledo Speedway for Honest A briefing qualifying, and currently his lap at the top of the board is 0.2 faster than the rest of the field, who some of them have already had their final opportunity. So Cody Swanson's sitting in pretty good shape right now.
Cars making their way back out. Let's take it back down to Drake York.
Well, guys, it's been interesting listening to Mario Klauser's radio here during dirt draft practices, along with Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, currently second on the speed charts. And after he came in, it was a lengthy discussion between Mario behind the wheel of the race car and Robbie Rice, who, of course, car owner, part owner, and does a lot of the work on this race car. And they were talking about the condition of the race car. And Mario came over the radio and said it's just a little bit snug in the center and it's loose off. So they've done a couple of changes, namely with stagger. They've debated maybe putting turns in the right front or right rear to maybe help with that. But so far, it seems like they're really happy. And yesterday, talking to them a little bit too, seemed like they were fairly happy after the practice day yesterday. So far, really happy here today, so far here at the Rollie Beale Classic. Of course, Mario's first ride in the 22 tonight, first driver in a long time, maybe ever, to drive the Robbie Rice owned number 22, not named Logan Seavey. So far, off to a good start.
Indeed, thank you very much. Right now, sitting fifth quick as the next group of drivers out to the speedway. Matt Westfall back onto the racetrack. The 91 of Justin Grant also back onto the speedway. Jake Trainer in the 6. Ely Bryson in the 26 over in turn number 2. Cody Swanson, the 77, making his way up to speed now in turns 3 and 4. Taylor Ferns in that 55. About the closest we will get to Shelby Township, Michigan the entire season. So I say this will be the closest we get to her hometown, and bringing up that, well, sprint cars also going to be going into Michigan this year. I believe you said Butler.
Yeah, that's right. First time since I've been at USAC that we're making a trip over to Michigan with the series. So I think we've had maybe a handful scheduled that we didn't quite get to make due to rain or otherwise.
I-96 would have been the last time I went to Michigan. That was back with ASCS.
Well, I'm from Ohio, so I don't care much for... I'm just kidding.
Well, I was going to say, you got that right. Well, hang on. We are within we're not even, we're within spitting distance of Michigan.
But
here.
this is still Ohio.
True.
OH, Brian.
Is it that real OSU thing? You know, the one in Oklahoma?
Good one.
I guarantee there's people cussing at their screen right now.
Okay, so Justin Grant jumped up to second overall in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. He's at a 15.244, which is about as close as anybody's gotten to Cody Swanson's time of 15.223.
21 hundredths of a second off of the pace of Cody Swanson. For Justin Grant, it would be a big thing to win this event, obviously, with Himmelgarn Enterprises and Super Fitness, the sponsors of this 100-lap race, and Himmelgarn Enterprises, the owner of that number 91. So checker flag coming out here. We should have one final group of cars to go. Swanson continues to be quickest, 15.223. Grant at a 15.244. Bryson a 15.311. Tyler Rorig is fourth quick at a 15.409, and CJ Leary 15.414 is currently fifth quick. Bettis, Klauser, Santos, Trainer, and Armstrong right now the top 10. So Berkheimer, Masinko, Steffens, Klauser, and Armstrong. Drivers that are set to make their way out here in this final group of your Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. So Dakota making his way back out onto the racing surface. Masinko rolling on the back straightaway. Berkheimer had some issues during his opening qualifying run. You saw him only take a couple of laps before he ducked off of the racetrack. Looking to see if there's any movement out of Kyle Steffens and the number 8 crew working on that machine.
So it does look like Steffens is about to get the shove. Looks like they're just finishing up some work on the left rear. And curious if the 22 of Mario Klauser intends to make another appearance before it's all said and done.
So Kyle Steffens making his way back out onto the racing surface. $50-50 tickets being sold. The kids walking down to the front of the grandstands right now. I see volleyball. I see soccer on the hoodies. So it is going back towards youth athletics. So make sure and grab your 50-50 ticket while you can. And looking down onto our pit lane, and it looks like, not sure if the crew is finishing up or getting ready to call it quits. Let's check in with Drake York.
They are actually just finishing up, Brian. We talked about what Mario and the team were going through on the racetrack. Adjustments have been made, and he's actually pushing off towards the staging lane behind us. Interesting to note, both tires on the right side, so the right front and the right rear sticker tires on the 22 here for this next run, trying to better his time here in dirt draft practice and in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying.
Normally during practice, they're pretty much allowed to kind of change tires around and do what they want, and they kept that premise here for this. Normally, once you're done with practice, the one you roll up into staging and qualifying, they mark it, and you're not able to change it. But with everything, the way it's kind of playing out and having to truncate the program a little bit, they're treating it more like a practice. Drivers and teams are able to come out. They are able to switch around and change those tires as they come back out for their second attempt at qualifying.
And in reality, this was just the better alternative to scrapping qualifying altogether.
Yes. You have two options. Either do your random draw or line them up by points. Well, you got drivers that have not established points. So like you said, this still puts everything back in the drivers and the team's hands to seed the field and try to get as fair a race as possible as we go to green here in this final session. So 4 cars back out onto the speedway. Masinko, Klauser, Armstrong, and Steffens. Dakota Armstrong coming around, getting back into the top 5 here. A lap time of 15.619. Better that time. Goes to 8th quick at a 15.470. Mario Klauser coming around. He jumps to 4th quick. His 11th lap at a 15.393. Armstrong picking up one more. Goes to 7th quick. And that Abacus Rice number 22. And Klauser has one more shot. Try to see if he can get up and grab away the top time here. Has to make up quite a bit, though. A little over 1/10 of a second. Brings it around front straightaway, and that'll do it. 15.393. He ends up 4th quick. So that will wrap up Honest Abe Roofing qualifying for the 9th time in his career here at Toledo, in the 55th time in his career in USAC Silver Crown competition. He will be your quick qualifier. The driver to Kingsburg, California, the Mission Foods, Wilkie Orthodontics, Glenn Farms, Doran Binks Racing, Lancey Ford, piece number 77. Race fans, give him a hand, Cody Swanson. So Cody Swanson ends up your quick qualifier today. Justin Grant's 2nd quick. Caleb Bryson was 3rd quick. Mario Klauser was 4th. Tyler Rohrig was 5th. CJ Leary was 6th. Dakota Armstrong was 7th. Colton Bettis was 8th. Bobby Santos was 9th. And Jake Traynor ended up rounding out the top 10. Not bad for his USAC Silver Crown debut here at Toledo. His 2nd start in a pavement event here in Silver Crown. Of course, getting his series debut last season at Indianapolis Raceway Park back in October during Championship Saturday. Steffens, Masenko, Ferns, Westfall, and Berkheimer. So we'll have stock cars starting to make the route to the speedway. Real quick, let's go down trackside to Drake.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. We'll make this for Cody Swanson. But, Cody, obviously a much different day here at the USAC Silver Crown Series with practice and qualifying being combined. How'd you have to approach that to ultimately get the pole like you do so many times here at Toledo?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a different strategy, but I appreciate all the effort, you know, not only from the sanctioning bodies here, but from the racetrack and Ron Hemmelgarn and everyone that supports this Rollie Beale Classic to give us a chance to race today after the rain. And the weather didn't look great this morning, so I appreciate everybody sticking out. I appreciate the fans that came out to see us, which really turned out to be a pretty nice day. So, you know, there's obviously a little bit of strategy that changes, but trying to be aware of that, and thankful for everybody that's part of this Doran Binks Racing team, right? We do our best to try to roll with the punches and you know, do our best with what kind of schedule the track gives us. And so really appreciate the chance to have it at all, to be able to try to get a qualifying time there and to have a fast race car, right? So thanks for everybody from Mission Foods, from Glenn Farms, from Wilkie Orthodontics, my man Ken back at home, and everybody gives us a chance.
Cody Swanson with his 9th career USAC Silver Crown pole here at Toledo. He's trying to parlay that into his 9th Rollie Beale Classic win here today.
Yeah, so 9 times Cody Swanson has sat on the pole here at Toledo Speedway. Only one of those times has he been defeated from the pole. That was by Bobby Santos in 2017.
So he'll make his 12th start here in Silver Crown competition. Go for 7 consecutive, 9 overall. It is start number 155 for the 8-time Silver Crown champion. As with that, Championship Racing Association making their way out to the speedway. Gentlemen.
And thank you to USAC for hanging out with us. Rich France alongside myself, John Ramos. Welcome you all to Toledo Speedway as the points-paying season opener gets ready to commence later this afternoon for the JEGS All-Stars Tour. A part of this 2025 campaign, you see multiple pro late models working their way onto the speedway. Rich, you're a longtime commentator here at Toledo. We get to bring the JEGS Tour back to this great facility after 15 years of racing. We did come back last year, but the first ever JEGS Tour race happened right here, and 15 years of celebration, we're right back where we started.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and the JEGS Tour had like a rebirth of sorts, Jonathan, last year. More money out there for these drivers for winning races, more start money. All races across the tour last year, big paying races. And it's no different this year in 2025. An outstanding schedule coming up for this tour.
And it's going to be exciting. We're expanding the schedule from 14 races to 16. That includes the non-points races. For our fans watching back at home on FloRacing, Racing America, and Track TV, you see the drivers lined up in the quarter mile. So if you have not been able to keep up to date with us on social media, we had a lot of rain this morning, and right now pit road still has a substantial amount of standing water. So for qualifying, we're going to have these drivers lined up in the quarter mile. They'll head out one at a time. First lap will be the warm-up lap, then 2 laps on the clock. 25 drivers originally on the entry list, and then one after another they started to fall either due to mechanical issues or just trouble getting to the racetrack.
Yeah, and all these drivers drew for qualifying position. So this was a random qualifying draw, and it doesn't go by points from last year or anything like that. It's just random. And talking to a lot of the drivers back in the pit area, they wanted to go later. So they wanted to get a little bit more rubber on these 10-inch tires, these ST1s and ST3s, get it onto the racetrack. They feel their best times will come from the latter half of the field.
If this is your first time watching the JEGS All-Stars Tour, we welcome you to this series. We started the season off at Cordele Motor Speedway in Cordele, Georgia. That January 18th, where Ben Mayer went to victory lane. But since that was a non-points race, we roll a couple months later here to Toledo with a brand new slate. We race in quarter miles. We race in half-mile tracks like this. Non-points races at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway multiple times, actually, this year. We go to fan favorites like Owasso, and then we got some fan favorites in Michigan that are joining us this year on the calendar. Kalamazoo, Auto City, 2, to name a few.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the best races throughout the 2024 season was at Whittemore, which is back this year. The folks up north, quite a bit further from here, packed the house when the JEGS All-Stars Tour showed up last summer for the 4th up north. We're going back 4th of July weekend again. Flat Rock and Toledo Speedway are off that weekend, so looking forward to get back to Whittemore Speedway. Great track and great group of fans up there.
We're looking at these drivers as they get ready for their single car qualifying efforts. Live on FloRacing, Racing America, and Track TV. That's where you can find the coverage of the first points-paying race of 2025, the Hemmelgarn Super Fitness 100. Let's talk storylines heading in. Kyle Crump, 131. The last 2 points-paying races on the JEGS Tour, he went to victory lane. He also went quickest in practice 1 and practice 2 yesterday. Final practice was rained out today, so all eyes still on that 131 to see if he can go 3 in a row.
And not in the same race car, Jonathan. Last year, he did it in the 23 Billy Van Meter 23 machine, won the end of the season at the Fall Nationals at Owasso. What a way to start, getting back in the 131 for Stan and Judy Rosen, and fast yesterday.
All that waiting around comes to a close. The sun is out here from the Glass City. First driver onto the racetrack for the single car qualifying effort. That's Jeremy Miller, the driver out of Rockford, Illinois, in the car corner Swiss Colony Racing Love Parks Motorsports Toyota. Miller, the final driver to win at the now defunct Rockford Speedway, was a Big 8 Super Late Model champion. What is he looking to do this weekend? Trophy hunting. And that's exactly what he does as he's on the clock.
Don't know if I'd want to be the first guy out on this driver out on this racetrack. Looks like the track looks a lot better. Some of the weepers are going away. Didn't have a lot of rain. It was just consistent throughout the morning.
15.549. Another thing to note with the USAC machines heading onto the speedway, started laying down a little bit of rubber, getting a little more heat in the racing surface. Miller 15.549. That's what he works with. Will Sahutsky on the speedway.
Sahutsky and the Billy's Ultimate Racing Products, WD Racing Ford, finished 9th in the championship standings 1 year ago in the JEGS All-Stars Tour out of Midland, Michigan.
We'll see the white flag this time by. We'll get an update on qualifying procedures in just a moment. A 16.382 goes Sahutsky. Finished 9th in points. Very consistent year in 2024. Looking to rebound as we have Austin Hull working on the speedway. Sahutsky gets ready to see the checkered flag.
Sahutsky, one of the drivers that made every tour race in 2024. Plans on doing again this year.
And looks to drop down to 16.151. He goes second out of the two drivers that have laid down a time. Third on the speedway, Austin Hull, the driver out of